Hello, we are going to talk about how can we use present perfect and past simple through a Christmas video, and also we are going to talk about our experience in last Christmas using those topics. So enjoy the video.
The most significant memory I have in these times is about 5 years ago. My family and I were in my aunt's house celebrating a Christmas Eve. Everything was going well until the moment we were waiting arrived, split the piñata. Before they put the piñata, the first laughs began because my uncle fell in front of everyone. After that, all the children began to beat it in turns, and when the piñata broke, all the members of my family threw themselves into the piñata. There were no age, children and adults trying to win a few sweets. So all these years my family and I, we have remembered that year like a special year in family.
A Christmas that I was with my family in the house of the grandmother began the fall. When we were all having dinner, we remembered the anecdotes that the whole family had. When we finished, they started dancing and remembering all the nonsense they did. Since my grandfather was snoring like a broken car until the time we went to take bath, and my grandmother had super drunk and cold no world, as well as the anecdotes of when my uncles were smaller, while we unlocked and danced to the music that was played in my player. A funny anecdote that we remember was the time when we went to the beach. I was throwing another uncle's cycle about when children went to play in the park at down and had so much fun, and they played in the park. They did in the London streets to simulate an avalanche. When we finished, we started to laugh all together. As well, they danced and never young was began to drink liquor and began to have more fun until I stopped remembering because I went to sleep. I was listening music in these days with family when my grandfather told me about the story of the music life. I see my family enjoy the party. They saw my uncles dance for a living room and write for the music. I listened. The family had and keep the story for a family. This is a familiar tradition for 20 years approx. The biggest party. The direction have 10 hours or 1 medium day. In my opinion, this party is enough for a family. A diversion, relax and enjoy.
One of the most important Christmas in my whole life was 2 years ago. At dinner, everyone had an amazing time telling the funniest things that we have in the year. We also had sadness or moments that we knew we did not want to repeat again. It was a unique night because that day we all joined as a true family, and thanks to that, we had an amazing time. I remember an anecdote that my uncle told how he once fell asleep in the subway until the line was finished. It was funny and at the same time not, since he had to return by taxi at 2 in the morning.
My history of the Christmas one day when the holidays were coming, and when they started the hints last week, and it was time when we would still do. The night was coming closer, and I remember that it was then for the 6th when all the Nacional began to arrive, and from that moment the people were so happy that they shared the emotion and harmony, and for which they made the night feel more than special. I had never felt so special for a long time until that night of joy. I spent time and we had dined, we laughed, we shared our ideas as well as word talks until it was time to ask for an hint, and it was there when the atmosphere became magical, and then it was time to start with the tradition of killing the 7 capital sins. That is, break the piñata, pass our children and 10 years, and then was the turn of my older brother. Of course, this wanted to break the piñata once because no one could break it. Then it was from that moment in which I passed hand he slipped the bat of the piñata, and before it happened, the tragedy hit a stick on the ground and then beat him in the head to my younger brother, and has broke the piñata. I made more cakes to sweets than what it had happened to my brother. It was so funny because while everyone had fun they were killed and they fought for the sweets, my brother was beat by the impression of my brother. In that moment I didn't of the main and single I cried of laughter.